The Trump administration says it wants to explore regulations for Google. This morning, Trump claimed in a tweet that results for Trump News shows only fake news media. Well, he went on to say that conservative voices are being suppressed. Google denies the claims that search results are politically biased. It comes at a time when allegations are growing against other tech companies such as Facebook and Twitter. Critics of the idea of regulating Google ask how could it be done and if this infringes on First Amendment rights. And for more, we're joined by civil rights attorney and talk radio host Robert Patillo and conservative commentator Steve Malzberg. Thanks so much for joining us, gentlemen.
My pleasure.
Thanks for having us.
So 96% of the Google search results for Trump News showed left-wing national media organizations. Was this a coincidence, Steve?
No, I don't believe it's a coincidence at all. This was done by PJ Media, and they Googled randomly Trump News, and what they got was 5 stories, 3 by Fox, 2 by the Wall Street Journal, or vice versa, 5 out of the top 100 attributable to so-called right-wing or leaning right news sites, Fox and Wall Street Journal. Whereas CNN had 22 stories, so did the Washington Post had 11, the NBC News had 11, and right on down the list, CNBC and so on, and CBS. And this is done with algorithms. And the people who program and make the algorithms, which Google says is, oh, they're always changing, are left-wing or progressives. How do I know this? Because the company, for the most part, admits so. And there's an employee, or should I say a former employee of Google, who is suing, saying that the company fired him because he dared express non-progressive views, and that the company goes out of its way to hire only progressives who are hopefully non-white and non-male. So are you surprised that this would be the result? Algorithms, man-made, man-programmed, that favor the left? I'm not.
Robert, do you think the algorithms are manipulated here against President Trump?
Well, I think President Trump and many on the right side of the aisle need to understand how local search, how search engine optimization, and how SEO works in general. That's just not the way that computers work. My wife is actually one of the nation's leading experts on search engine optimization, and she can sit down and give you an entire seminar on what to do if you want your stories to rank. There's paid search, there's local search, there's metadata, there's all sorts of things you can do instead of going to Twitter to complain. Donald Trump has become the complainer in chief. It's the corrupt media. It's the fake news. It's the deep state. It's Pizzagate. Come on, nobody elected him to whine 24 hours a day. Get in there, get things done, get kids out of cages, fix the healthcare system, and do some real work. Nobody wants to hear you complaining about your Google search results.
Well, I think the cage pictures were from a different administration, but we're not talking about that today. We know that now Google did put out a statement saying the search engine is not used to set a political agenda. But Steve, didn't we hear a similar story with Clinton articles during the 2016 campaign season?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And let me point out that Google, who also owns YouTube, YouTube has punished conservative videos and bloggers and shows. They've taken some conservative shows off the air for a time, then put them back. They demonetized people. Diamond and Silk got punished, and then they were put back after they launched a whole big protest. It only happens to conservatives, and it's only by accident, and there's no organized effort. Now, look, I'm not advocating government intervention. Again, I'll say it every time I'm on. I advocate that conservatives come up with an alternative, many alternatives, because we don't want the government regulating speech one way or another. But this is blatant. It should be just admitted to. And I think that the big fear on the part of these social media forums and platforms is that there'll be hearings and there'll be government intervention and regulation. I do think it's coming. I don't want it, but it's coming.
Should be interesting to see how it all plays out. But now, Robert, I have to move on to a story that's, leaving some scratching their heads. As you heard in our earlier report, several news organizations have retracted a story which originally came out from CNN when, Michael Cohen's lawyer, Lanny Davis, Davis supposedly had an anonymous source that could prove Donald Trump Jr. informed his father of a meeting with various Russians to find, dirt on Hillary Clinton. But on Sunday, Davis said that he was no longer confident that this source was true. And now Accuses is even reporting that Cohen testified under oath to Congress that he has no knowledge that the president knew about this meeting. So my question to you is, why doesn't CNN come out and retract their original story? What are your thoughts?
Well, 2 points. One, on Lanny Davis, you have to understand this is why lawyers do not try their cases in the court of public opinion, because erroneous information gets out, and it's no way to conduct the business of law. You don't do it in the media, you do it in front of a courtroom, in front of a jury. Secondarily, this is what happens when you have this rabid media on the left, which is looking for each and every single drop of anti-Russian or anti-Trump news and turns into a front page story. Nobody cares about this. If you go to the barber shop, the grocery store, the beauty salon, nobody is talking about whether or not Michael Cohen knows about a meeting from Trump Tower from 2016. This is only the far fringe of left-wing media. And I think the reason CNN hasn't retracted it yet is because it will go forward and show the president's claims on fake news. So retract it, get the right information out, and stop jumping on every single piece of information on earth.
Well, gentlemen, they are cutting me off. Unfortunately, I have to cut it short. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate both of your guys' insights. Thank you.
Thank you, Natasha.
Thank you.
Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope you enjoyed the video. We have tons of content for you just like this. For more of RT America's one-of-a-kind news and analysis, be sure to subscribe and never stop questioning more.